when I thought about the word negotiation, mandwali, adjustment, compromise, we have different ways of expressing. It's such a huge topic. And I'm like, so where do I start negotiation? I was negotiating with myself. Like, where do I start negotiating with you? Should we speak about your interview negotiation when you sitting in front of an interview panel and there are people who are saying, what is your last round compensation? And you're like, I want this. They say no. Is that the negotiation that where you struggle? Do you struggle with customers who are perpetually want a discount, who always, you are going to press on value and they're going to press on the price? Or is there any other negotiation that you are struggling with? So what is that negotiation? And so therefore, this is just, if you look at a pie chart of negotiations, this is but just the small sliver of pie where I'm going to talk about the basic tenets of negotiation. If you like zoom out, and no pun intended there. If you like zoom out and say, what is the simplified understanding of negotiation? Is there a way, technique that I can try to explore? And what could be the subtext while I try some of these things? So that's the broad framework. So it's the art of hearing the unspoken. I've been a people manager since 2003, 2004, and I've probably done about more than say 2,000-3,000 interviews. What happens is, students and candidates and everybody come very prepared. And nowadays, even the customers come very prepared and they know what to say, that they're articulating exactly the words that ought to be said. But over time, you figure out what is unsaid. So when the customer is saying something, what is the unsaid? If you can pick up on the unspoken, unsaid bit of it, and I'll show you how typically you try, chances are you will be able to negotiate a little better. Chances, that's all I'm saying. Missing out the unspoken, like they say, what dogs are not barking. If you miss out the subtext of the conversation, more often than not, you will land up in a situation where you say, oh, I didn't know this objection. I was taken by surprise. You could have told this to me earlier. You didn't. But the customer has been dropping these micro moments during the course. It's not the final stage of negotiation, but en route to negotiation, dropping those micro moments. But you miss those micro moments. So we try and see how you can touch upon those micro moments. So it is the art of hearing the unspoken and the science of maximizing those micro moments. If they can explode in your head, like, oh, I got you. For example, the guy says, your product is very good, but we are just fine. The unspoken text there is, oh, I'm looking for something much more than what you said. Please never, ever get into a negotiation with a predetermined mindset. This is the syllabus. This is how it will happen. No, never, illa, yet. Doesn't happen like that. One of the key ingredients to ensure that you're not entering with a predetermined mindset is to be flexible. Charles Darwin said, it's the survival of the fittest. In the year 2023, that definition has been updated a little bit. And that definition is survival of the most adaptable. You should be able to adapt. Your cognitive ability should be high, where you can be in a given situation. Of course, there's a planning, there's a prep, there's a framework. But if you're suddenly deviated, then you have to have that gravitas, that calmness, that thought clarity to shift quickly and do that. So when you enter into a negotiation, do not think that it will go per plan always. Endeavor is always like that, but be prepared internally for curveballs, for objections, for, oh, you didn't say this to me. And I'll tell you how to tackle not being surprised, right? Preset or reset notions before you enter the theater. Like before you go watch a movie, you have seen the teaser, you have seen the trailer, you have already formed an opinion. How many times have you entered the theater and figured out, that's not what I thought the movie would be? And many negotiation deals, or I would say 90% of the negotiation deals often happen like that. And then if you have to and there could be 100 points, and you put down 5 points, and what happens if it flops? as in what happens if you lose the deal. What is your cliffhanger moment? Like, this, beyond this point, I will walk away from the deal. What's your cliffhanger moment? What's your happy scene? Sometimes you get so cynical, you become what you think. Sometimes you get so cynical saying that, this cannot happen. Oh, the person is so difficult. The person is this, person is that. We have built up a cynicism or cynical cloud over our head. And we are just getting into a confirmation bias, which means the moment the customer says, I don't know, maybe, and you are immediately correlating that maybe to that word cloud in your head, saying, see, I knew you would say that. That is confirmation bias often. Whereas the customer, for all you know, was saying, maybe I don't have clarity. Can you help me understand a little better? And so instead of doing that, but because I have this preconceived notion in my head, that maybe is becoming negative in my mind. And I'm saying, okay, I'm building a wall of difficulty even before it actually is. So think about that. So what is your cliffhanger moment? What's your happy scene like? So have a happy scene, like this will work out. This is how it will work out. The customer or the situation will work out in my favor. Plot that out. What's the script? The script, often as we have seen in many movies, is absent. That should not be the case in any negotiations, right? So what is the script? The script is something of the buyer's journey. How many of you are, and if this is from a sales context, of course, what is the buyer journey from start to finish? You will be surprised, or let me first give you the obvious. What happens in most cases is people just flow with the direction. We're saying, I have blue, green, red, yellow to offer. What do you want? That, my friends, is not selling. That is order fulfillment.